there is half ult. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. You can't draw cards. Hello Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome to the first Historic Brawl gameplay video featuring one of the new legendary cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed. And today we are playing Maralen Fae Ascendant, a 5-mana 4/5 flyer with a very, very powerful ability. So it says whenever Maralen or another elf or fairy we control enters, exile the top 2 cards of target player's library. Then, once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies we control from among cards exiled of Maralen this turn without paying its mana cost. Now, when I first read this, and when I spoke about it in my video earlier in the week about looking at upcoming Brawl cards, I thought you could just, when you exiled the cards in Maralen, you could play them one on each turn, so your turn, your opponent's turn. It doesn't work like that. You only exile the cards until end of turn, even though in the first bit of the text, it doesn't say exile top 2 cards at the end of turn. So you can only play them on your turn, or if you can get a creature in elf or fairy in play during your opponent's turn, you will then be able to cast any instant or sorceries that you exile or anything with flash on that turn. So just be wary if that didn't quite work out. So basically the deck is mostly fairies. We have 46 creatures, of which, mostly elves, 33 are elves, and actually not a huge amount, only 3 fairies. I did have more, but I went mostly elves because I think they're more powerful. And they are mostly, obviously, mana dorks. And the quicker you can get Maralen out and then other elves, the better. So I'm not going to go through every card because they are elves, as you expect, but I do want to point out some creatures. We do have some creatures that aren't elves, things like a Boreal Grazer and Delighted Halfling to help us ramp. Elfsworn Giant isn't an elf, but it has Landfall, create an elf, so that's really, really powerful. Craterhoof Behemoth, obviously just a big finisher. But other than powerful cards as well, which we haven't really seen on the channel, Leovold, Emissary of Trust, a 3/3. Each opponent can't draw more than 1 card each turn, and whenever you or a permanent you control becomes target of a spell or ability opponent controls, we draw a card. It is an elf as well, so it's really, really powerful. Great Divide Guide, also not an elf, but it fixes our land and mana as well. And then we just have quite a lot of elf lords like Leaf Crown Visionary, Elvish Archdruid, Dwynen Gilt-Leaf Dane as well to pump our board. And then creatures that basically create tokens. So we've got the Bitter Bloom Buddies, so Bitter Blossom, and then Bitter Bloom Bearer from the new Lorwyn set will create a 1/1 fairy each turn, obviously triggering Maralen and meaning we can cast bigger spells with Maralen. And then Dwynen's Elite creates a token when it comes out if we've got an elf, which we will. Elvish Warmaster creates an elf whenever another elf enters, but only once a turn. As I said, Elfsworn Giant creates an elf when we have landfall. List Alana Heartmaster creates an elf when we cast an elf, and that is not limited to once a turn. Tyvar Cowl can 0 to create an elf. So these are great ways to keep on triggering Maralen. And we do have a few changelings in Changeling Outcast, Realm Walker. There's another one in Mars Vandal, and then Mutable Explorer, which also helps us ramp. Marwyn's Kindred's also good because it creates a elf in Marwyn, which we also do have Marwyn herself, and then lots of Llanowar Elves. And Genesis Wave, because we're going to have a lot of mana to basically try and get a big hit with this. And then a few ramp cards beyond our mana dorks in Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart. Marileth Pixie is a fairy as well, and a mana dorks as well. Growth Spiral, and we've got Explore in here as well, and Rampant Growth. So yeah, it's basically a go white elf deck, and essentially our win condition is hopefully find Craterhoof Behemoth or just find our opponent's best cards. Sometimes you can hit 2 lands and you can't play lands with it, but sometimes you hit a Ragavan or a Khan's Temple Sundering or a Grave Pact and things like that, just your opponent's win con. And you know, if you know you're going to be able to get a lot of creatures into play on the same turn, something like Stolen by the Fae lets you bounce a target creature mana value X. So it's not X or less. So if you want to bounce a 4-drop, you've got to pay 4 for X. You can't go just dump all your mana into it, because then you create X 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens with flying. So if you do want to bounce of like a 5-drop and you dump 5 and X, you're going to create 5 fairies. You're going to trigger Maralen 5 times. So you have a choice of up to 10 cards. So you might want to do that before you play a card out, because even if you're like, oh, they've really powerful card, carry on until you can't get any more creatures into play, and then pick because you might exile something better and just make your opponent scoop. So yeah, a really, really fun deck, a powerful deck. Obviously, it's very creature heavy base, so it does suffer the removal. We do have Heroic Intervention, which I don't think I've even drawn, but you could go a bit more protection, especially in blue. I think I did have Counterspell, or the new fairy that flashes and lets you remove a counter for it to counter a creature spell, but I've just went on more elves. Sometimes you can just go off and get Maralen out like turn 3, and then just start exiling your opponent's best stuff. So, but also bear in mind, you can help your opponent, because if you exile 2 lands and they didn't need them, then they're more likely to get to the good stuff. So just be aware, it's not an absolute perfect thing. Mana base is as you would expect, just all the dual lands and try it. We do have the Triome, Zagoth Triome for Mikoria, Gemstone Caverns, obviously nick those because most of our stuff's green. You could play 3-tree Silly as well and name Elf. I think we do have Cavern of Souls? Yeah, we do have Cavern of Souls as well. So a really, really fun deck and a really powerful commander. Have played against High Perfect Morcant quite a lot, which is a very similar deck on, obviously it's Elves, and we have played it Sand, so I'm not sure I'm going to play that one, but I might do. So yeah, really, really fun. Hope you'll enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll give a shout out to my patrons, Arcadius, Mihal, Thomas and Adrian. Thank you much for your support. Thank you everyone else for your support, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. No green mana. Fantastic. This is better. My least favourite card. We don't have black mana yet. Suppose I could get down Gala Greeters and Allosaurus Shepherd, but I think I'll do Druid of the Cowl. Well, there's black mana. Well, next time we can Maralen. Although if we think they have a counterspell, we may want to get Allosaurus Shepherd out first. Oh. Unless they got a mana tithe. Which they don't. If they have anything with hexproof. There is Alela. 1, 2, 1. We can't quite. Stolen by Fae hurt. Let's go to treasure. Well, the only thing we can really do is Hallowed Haunting. We could Elsworn Giant and, well, definitely turn to Timber Symbiosis, but I think if they tap out, we probably Stolen by Fae. But did I have a sweeper? Why have you shocked a landing? Well, yeah, I think our green spells can't be countered. What are they searching for? River's Rebuke? Counterspell. I'm going to laugh when they try and counter Maralen and can't, unless they remove the Allosaurus Shepherd. Hoo-hoo! We are going to flash in Glisser. They don't have a huge amount of... they don't have a huge amount of enchantments. Grave Pact. Right, let's Champions of the Perfect. Behold our little boy. Let's gain 2 life. Probably Bitter Blossom, isn't it? Or maybe Unable to Scream. Let's get us a Boundland. I'll ditch that. And yeah, let's Bitter Blossom. What does that do? because of our Grave Pact, they have to sacrifice a creature. Oh, come on. We can get down Dictator Varabos and then just start swinging in with everything because we don't really care that stuff dies. Obviously, we would like Glisser to get through to take out Sphere of Safety. But yeah, stealing all their cards was quite fun, and we could have stolen by Fae something at instant speed. But yeah, a pretty good game in the end. Oh, we have 40 lands in our deck, but we never seem to draw more than 2 of them. Let's get down the Loamspeaker. I think let's get down the Visionary. And we'll get down Bajuka Bog. Get rid of your land. There is Zimone and Dina. We can already play you out, can't we? This we discard an enchantment card. No. Yes. Let's get rid of Bit of Blossom. I'm going to play the Giant before cracking Scalding Tarn. Our opponent's at 29 and we're at 16. Are you going to do something? Let's get an island. If they draw the card we were going to steal, well, they put them on the bottom. Well, Nadir Kraken's pretty good. Let's get down Dwynen's Elite. I'm not going to wipe the board. Do we have anything? No. let's get down to the Puppeteer, because that gives us a bit of life gain if we can draw cards. Which hopefully we can do with Glitter. I would love an Elf Lord. We want to get down the Mastermind next turn as well. Well, let us Glitter. Curse of a Skeleton. Just 2 lands there. Let's get a Hedge Maze. I mean, we're about to take an extra turn. Part of me wants a Liliana. But I think taking an extra turn is probably the way forward. We've triggered the Puppeteer. Oh, me. Nice. Yes. We win. Well, we go first. We have a pretty good hand. We do have to shock in the tomb. Then turn to Priest. And maybe... Fine, not that. Why do I only have 1 green mana? Obviously, the Great Divide Guide lets our land tap for any mana. Roast Rider, good card. Oh, let us Maralen. I only have 2. We'll cry a Trap Treasure token. It's a shame. I would have liked Bastion. I'll get down with a Celebrant. And we can fetch another green source. There is Eirdu. We're going to get a Surveyor land. So we hit another untapped land, we can play both cards from our hand. Let's go Morcant. Oh, there's a Cutthroat. Probably don't need Cleric class. So, yeah, let's Cutthroat. We're out of cards. You are transforming. Oh, suitable Cutthroat's an ally. Manually tap in. If we flood out now, I'm going to be very unhappy. That's a good combo. Yep. What else do I have? Not a huge amount of them. Well, at least we can, I think, surveil twice. They keep Isilu. Yeah, that's a good combo. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Sure, we'll keep that. Agatha Soul Cauldron and Persist is an issue. What are you doing? All right, let's see what we hit. I want to keep the Windswept Heath. Oh, I don't think. You don't count. I'm going to get down the Disciple. Put a counter on the Gala Greeters. Exile 2 lands. We can flash in the Bitterbloom Bearer. Oh, that sucks. We should be able to replay him quite easily. We're down to 27, they're up to 19. We go first. We are seeing High Perfect Morcant a lot today. We'll get a breeding pool. Pixie. Yeah, we'll keep you for now. They have a Gala Greeters. And we can play Maralen next turn. Which we will do. Oh, I think over. Full powered Overlord. Good. They ain't blocking. Let's put it on the Overlord. They do still have a lot of mana. It's annoying. The Morcant's now out of range of our Gloom Ripper. Well, or no, it's not. Because we'll create an elf. Or they can still recast it, but yeah, let's Vivian Reed. Do we just get a forest? And we'll flash in our fairy mastermind. Five, 6, 7. We are a land away from being able to Craterhoof. And we can probably get that with Vivian. We do get an exile too. Oh, come on. Our opponent goes first. There's Gran-Gran. Breeding pool. We'll surveil. Are they Gran-Gran aggro? Let's get down Bloom Tender. So you're going to try and mill us out. Let's get an underground mortuary. Well, let's get down you. Would have preferred that. There's no point casting that. Oh. Can't be blocked. We can Genesis Wave for 5. Oh, let's behold you. And let's cast you. That's pretty good. Let's just investigate. Yeah, we'll swing in. What are they getting back? Brainstorm. Oh, I wanted a Genesis Wave for a big amount. We go first. With an unkeepable. I don't. No blue or black. And they have mulliganed. Great, Badgermar Cub. And let's get down the Archdruid. And we'll get down a Hedge Maze. And we'll keep you. See, I wouldn't have turned a Vendo into a land creature because if it gets removed, it'll lose the counters. Surely you wanted Bristly Bill out first. Now we can Maralen. What do we hit? Great. No. Well, let's hopefully we hit something better with this. Yeah. We'll keep you. We can fully station a Vendo. Well, there's a skirt. Well, that's game over then, isn't it? Let's see what we hit. I'm going to sacrifice Maralen. And replay Maralen. And we will play out a land. Well, everything's about to get huge. Yep. There we go. Well done. Well, I think we're just dead. Are we? No, we're not. Let's get a Surveyor land. Don't need you. Well, we are pretty dead. Let's do this for 5. Well, that was a bit boring. Well, let's get down you. Let's adapt. Let's get down. Let's get back to the Disciple of Throalis. And let's get the Disciple down. Sack the Evolution Witness. Well, we're not blocking with Maralen. And I think you... I mean, chances are we are still just very dead. Nothing has trample. They could have got, if they had like an instant speed, sack a land, put 2 lands on the battlefield, which would have given something trample with Earthbender's Ascension. Yeah. They could have held back and just waited for a land because they would have given something trample.